This is my video update on this Thursday, midday, May the 16th. Let's talk about some news. And we have to start things off with the assassination attempt on Slovakia's Prime Minister Robert Fico that happened yesterday afternoon. And it looks like the latest reports that are coming out, it looks like Robert Fico will make it through this attempt on his life. From Zero Hedge, Slovak Prime Minister Robert Fico expected to survive. UK media appears to justify assassination attempt. So the latest reports at the time of this recording are that Fico underwent a 3-4 hour operation, and it looks like he's now conscious, and he should make it through the operation and this assassination attempt. But let's pray for Robert Fico. Let's pray for Slovakia, and I do hope that he is okay. I don't want to say anything more because us Greeks, we are a bit superstitious, so let's just leave it there and let's just pray for Robert Fico, and let's hope that everything is okay with the operation. But how about the UK media? Not only the UK media, the US media, CNN. They wasted no time in smearing Fico. The man was shot 5 times by what the reports are calling a 71-year-old, like, liberal political activist who was at one time associated with the opposition party, something like that. This 71-year-old shot Fico 5 times, or he tried to shoot Fico 5 times. I believe 1 or 2 bullets actually hit Fico's abdomen. But the UK media, CNN, they wasted no time smearing Fico. CNN, they said that Fico is known to be a Kremlin sympathizer. Sky News pretty much said the same thing, that he's a Kremlin stooge or Kremlin sympathizer. And they were hinting, the narrative was hinting at Fico deserved it. You know, that's what they were trying to get at. Well, he's an authoritarian, and this was bound to happen. That's what they were getting at. BBC the same. BBC was reporting that Fico he's an authoritarian ruler, and this was going to happen because he's authoritarian, which is ridiculous nonsense. So I thought it was horrible what the media did. Absolutely horrible. Shame on the BBC, the UK state propaganda news outlet known as the BBC. Shame on you. Shame on the Murdoch. Is it Murdoch who owns Sky News? Shame on Sky News. And, well, shame on the Clown News Network. But what else do you expect from the Clown News Network? So that was the big news yesterday. And once again, let's pray that Fico makes it through this. So, Russian President Vladimir Putin landed in China yesterday, I think yesterday evening, my time. And what a greeting he got at the airport, huh? What a greeting Putin got at the airport. The red carpet was rolled out for the Russian president, unlike the greeting that Blinken got when he arrived in China a couple of weeks ago, where no carpet was rolled out for Blinken. But yeah, Putin arrives in China. 2-day visit, I believe. And Xi Jinping called Putin his great friend. Xi Jinping said, "My great friend, I welcome you." And what a delegation Putin brings with him, huh? Lavrov, Nabulina, Shoigu, Peskov, Belousov, the new Minister of Defense, Shoigu, the new Secretary of the Security Council, Lavrov, the Foreign Minister, expected to accompany Putin, Nabulina. All of these high-level government officials with Putin in China. The delegation that Putin brings with him to China, I think, says it all. Russia and China are in a not only a de facto alliance. They don't call it an alliance, but we'll call it an alliance. But they're working together to usher in the multipolar world, to break free of the US dollar, to break free of the fear of sanctions that the collective West with the US dollar has abused and has used against so many countries to weaken them and destroy them. And it's Russia and China leading the way. Putin and Xi Jinping leading the way to a new system that 80% of the world, the global majority, will be plugging into. So they had a meeting, the two leaders, and during this meeting, they signed more strategic cooperation agreements. Putin said that 90% of Russia-China transactions are in national currencies. The decision to switch mostly to rubles and yuan was timely and has led to a strong boost in trade, Putin said. There was a time 10 years ago, 15 years ago, where if a world leader of a country of any size, whether it be Russia, whether it be, I don't know, Libya, if a world leader said that they were thinking of trading outside of the US dollar, well, regime change, and maybe even worse. Remember those days? Now you have Putin in China openly saying that 90% of the trade taking place between China and Russia is outside of the USD. And it's not only Russia and China that are trading outside of the USD. Too many countries to even talk about, to list are trading outside of the USD. And the collective West, the US, can't stop it. There's nothing they can do about it. So as Blinken is in Kiev, singing in bars, rocking to the free world, keep on rocking in the free world, and Yellen is complaining about overcapacity, and the EU is thinking of sanctioning China and sanctioning China EVs, and Biden is placing 100% tariff on China EVs. Putin and Xi and the huge delegation with Putin, they're planning the next steps. Big picture stuff, right? Blinken is in Kiev, and just yesterday he's talking about how U.S. weapons can be used to hit Russian territory. because they want to just create as much chaos as possible, right? That's what Blinken said yesterday. Let me pull up the quote if I have it handy. Kiev can decide for itself how to use U.S. weapons. That's what Blinken said. Washington is only committed to making sure that Ukraine has everything it needs to succeed, the U.S. Secretary of State said. We have not encouraged or enabled strikes outside of Ukraine, but ultimately Ukraine has to make decisions for itself and how it's going to conduct this war. It's Blinken's way of saying, you know what, take the ATACMS and just cause chaos inside of Russia. That's what they're concerned with. Let's just cause as much chaos as we can inside of Russia. Let's cause as much chaos as we can for China. But you know, Putin and Xi, they're talking on a whole different level. They're having discussions on a whole different level. And what an FU to the Biden White House, huh? From China. What an FU to the Biden White House, because it was just last week that Blinken was there threatening China. And 2-3 weeks ago, it was Yellen threatening China, complaining about overcapacity. Blinken talking about dual-used goods, washing machine chips and shovels being sent to Russia, and telling the Chinese that if they continue to trade with Russia, well, then you're gonna get sanctioned. You are going to get sanctioned big time. We're warning you, no trade with Russia. Don't you dare trade with Russia, China. That's what Blinken said. Don't you dare. And Xi Jinping, welcome, my friend. Welcome, my great friend. Let's sign some more trade agreements. Yeah, let's do that. What a message that China is sending to the United States. We will not be told what to do. We will not be bullied. We will not be told who we can trade with and who we can't trade with. And Yellen, take your overcapacity and right? Yeah, that's the message that China's sending. And they had red carpets everywhere. Red carpets at the airport, red carpets when he met Xi Jinping. Everywhere that Putin is walking, there's a red carpet. Like everywhere Putin is walking, they have red carpets. Incredible, man. Absolutely incredible. And you have the Minister of Defense in Shoigu, the former Minister of Defense and the new Minister of Defense in China. You're telling me they're not coordinating the conflict in Ukraine as well? They're talking about the whole strategy, because everything's connected, right? Everything that's going on is this is the big game. This is the big war that is taking place. You know, Ukraine is one part of everything that's happening. The sanctions are another. De-dollarization is another part. Serbia and Hungary. That's another piece to the puzzle, perhaps. Perhaps that's another piece to the puzzle. That's why I'm saying these guys are thinking big picture. They're looking everything in its they're looking at everything in its entirety. That's why you have the defense minister on this trip. Interesting stuff happening. Interesting stuff. So the New York Times, they're running a story claiming that the Biden White House is now hoping for a freeze in the conflict in Ukraine and a deal along the lines of Korea. That is what the Biden White House is hoping happens in Ukraine in the next couple of months, according to the New York Times. That's going to be a very decisive next couple of months. There is a growing feeling within the Biden administration that the next few months could be decisive, as at some point the two sides could finally move to a negotiated truce similar to the one that ended active hostilities in Korea in 1953. The Biden White House now is hoping for a Korea type of solution to the conflict in Ukraine. No more victory, no more regime change in Russia, no more balkanization of Russia, breaking Russia apart in 6, 7 different pieces. You even have Pavel, the war hawk, the neocon war hawk leader of the Czech Republic, coming out and saying we need to negotiate. We need to stop this war, and we need to negotiate because there is no way that Ukraine is going to gain any territory. Not going to happen. And the New York Times is talking about a Korea solution. Do you guys think that Russia would agree to a Korea solution? Why? Why would Russia agree to a Korea type of solution? I just don't see it. I don't think that's anywhere in that option is anywhere in Russia's strategic plans for the conflict in Ukraine. I don't think they're thinking anywhere even remotely close to a Korea freeze. Actually, they've said it. Lavrov has said it. Putin has said it. There's going to be no freeze. There will be no freeze in the conflict. There was a freeze. There was a solution. A freeze to the conflict back in 2014, 2015. And the collective West did not honor that freeze. It was even better than a freeze for Ukraine. It was much better than a freeze. It still had Lugansk and Donetsk incorporated into Ukraine as autonomous republics, but they were still part of Ukraine. It was much better than a freeze. That's what they had in 2014, 2015. But nope. They didn't want it. So why would Russia agree to some sort of freeze? Not going to happen. Not gonna happen. And so Zelenskyy was supposed to travel to Spain. He was going to go to España, and I guess he was going to deliver a couple of bottles of Zelenskyy number 5 to Sanchez, right? But nope. No trip for you, Zelenskyy. The trip has been canceled. And Zelensky's office has not said why the trip has been canceled. They just said that Zelenskyy is canceling all of his events for now, and everything needs to be rescheduled. But we know why the trip was canceled. Well, we know who canceled the trip. Obviously, because of everything that's happening in Kharkov, the 4th front that has now been opened, and soon you're going to have a 5th front in Sumy. I imagine there's going to be a 5th front that's going to be opened in Sumy. But Blinken canceled the trip. Now, why did Blinken tell Zelenskyy you cannot go to Spain? Why did Blinken tell Zelenskyy you're not going anywhere? Because over the last 2 years, one thing has held true. Well, 2 things have held true with Volodymyr Zelenskyy. 2 things. The first thing is that he is going to wear green. He actually broke that trend a week ago, 2 weeks ago during Pascha when he put out that video. He wasn't wearing green. That was huge. But for the most part, he's been wearing green every day. And the other thing that has held true over the last couple of years is that when things have gone bad in Ukraine, even the slightest difficulty that has hit Kiev and Ukraine or Zelensky's administration, what does Zelensky do? He gets on a plane and he travels. He travels, man. He goes on a trip. Yeah, for 2, 3, 4 days. Usually goes to Europe. He goes to Poland or Sweden or Finland, the Netherlands. He goes to the Netherlands a lot. I think he likes the Netherlands. He goes to the UK. He definitely likes the UK. He travels, man. That's what he does. Things are going a little bit bad in Kiev. Zelensky, he gets on a plane and he goes to Paris with his wife. And they do some shopping. They do some shopping. Hey, frogs, how you guys doing today? Yeah? Everything good? Yeah. There's some frogs right in there, moving around. All right. Have a good day, frogs. So yeah, Zelensky travels, but he wanted to go to Spain. You know, he wanted to go to Spain because things are going terribly wrong in Ukraine. And Zelensky had his ticket. He was ready to fly to Spain, ready to get away from all the difficulties for a couple of days, chill out in Madrid, hang out with Sanchez. And Blinken came to town and said, nope, you're not going anywhere. Now, I can't figure out why. I was on Emil's channel yesterday, Emil Kozmin. You can find the video, and we had a discussion about this very topic. We both came to the same conclusion. Zelensky definitely wanted to get out of town. When things are going bad, he usually does get out of town, but Blinken told him you can't leave. So why? Why did Blinken tell him he can't leave? Let me know in the comments down below what you think. My guess, if I had to take a guess, it would be that Blinken told Zelensky maybe one of two things. One of two things. Blinken told Zelensky, you're not going to leave now because that would be just bad optics. You know, your country is crumbling and you're going to go to Spain. Blinken may have told Zelensky, that's not going to look good. We can't have that, so you stay put. Or the other option is that all the rumors about some sort of regime change that could go down on May 21st or after May 21st when Zelensky's term runs out and he's no longer the elected president of Ukraine. Maybe Blinken told him, you know, I came here. I said in my speech the other day that the U.S. backs you, that we support you, even if you're going to be the unelected dictator of Ukraine, we're going to still support you. So you're not going to go anywhere because if you leave, you may not have a presidency to come back to because there are a lot of people that are looking to get rid of you, to take over. Budanov, Poroshenko, all of these guys want a shot at the presidency of leading, not even the presidency, of being the leader of Ukraine. They would like to remove Zelensky. And so if he went to Spain, maybe Blinken told him, if you go to Spain, you're not going to have anything to come back to because one of these other guys, they're just going to move into your office and take over. Maybe Blinken told him something like that. Who knows? Just a guess. So the European Union, well, actually France and the Netherlands, they are trying to get the European Union to sanction global financial institutions that fund Putin's war machine. Global, that's the key word. Financial institutions anywhere in the world that trade with Russia, work with Russia, provide dual used goods to Russia, they're going to be sanctioned. According to France and the Netherlands. France and the Netherlands have reportedly proposed a transaction ban on any entity that supplies dual-use goods to Moscow's military. France and the Netherlands have been advocating for the EU to impose sanctions on any financial institution globally that helps Russia's military pay for goods or technologies that can be used for making weapons, Reuters has reported. They just don't give up. You have to hand it to them. You know, when it comes to the globalists, when it comes to the EU and sanctions against Russia, they don't give up. They can't just stop. They can't just stop. Just stop. Stop, guys. It's not working. It's not working. They need a freaking intervention. Someone needs to intervene. They need to call Ursula into a room and just be like, you know, Ursula's going to enter a room somewhere in Brussels, and there'll be like maybe 5 or 10 people in the room, and she's going to be like, "What's going on?" And they're going to tell Ursula, "Look, Ursula, this is a sanctions intervention. Stop. 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 No more. It's over. The sanctions aren't working. They were never going to work. They never will work. Stop. Let it go. Let it go." But to be fair, this is France and the Netherlands. So Macron and Rutte, those are the two people that need an intervention. Yeah, that's going to work out well for the European Union, right? Sanctioning global financial institutions. That's going to work out real well for you, European Union. Just go ahead with that. Go ahead with that, and let's see how it all turns out. The EU also blocked access to Russian media the other day. What are the media channels that they have blocked? RIA Novosti, Izvestia, Rossiyskaya Gazeta. Yeah, nothing says freedom of speech and human rights, free market. nothing says those things like banning media outlets. EU values, those EU values at work. Banning Russian media. No problem. Citizens of the EU, they can get all of their news straight from Euronews. Straight from Euronews, which, if you don't know what Euronews is, that's the EU-funded media channel. Euronews. You can get all of your information, which is absolutely factual and reliable, from Euronews if you are in the EU. You'll still have access to the BBC and CNN, so all is good. Why do you need news from other outlets in Russia, or soon-to-be outlets in China, or outlets in India or Brazil? Why do you need news from those outlets? Because you know that the European Union, they're going to start blocking media from all of the BRICS countries very soon. You know that's coming, right? Absolutely. That is on the way. So let's now talk about Maidan 2.0 happening in Georgia. Listen to the cicadas. Hey, the cicadas are back, which means that summer is indeed here when the cicadas are chirping away. Welcome back, cicadas. So yeah, let's talk about the newest, latest, and greatest Maidan that is going down in Georgia. I've talked about this in pretty much every video I've done over the last week. The foreign agents law, which has upset NGOs in Georgia and upset a lot of the young Georgian citizens. At least that's how it looks. A lot of the youth is protesting in force because the last thing that they want to see happen in Georgia is transparency for the NGOs. That's the last thing that they want to see. They don't want any of the NGOs reporting where they are getting their money from. And so, yesterday we had the Lithuanian foreign minister visit Tbilisi, Mr. Landsbergis, who, by the way, speaks excellent English. Better English than mine. I mean, that guy's English, American English, is fantastic. Fantastic. Bravo, Mr. Landsbergis. For the foreign minister of Lithuania, your English is freaking awesome, man. Where did you learn? Just out of curiosity. Where did you learn such good English? So yeah, he was in Tbilisi, not meddling in Georgia's affairs. No, no, no. He wasn't meddling in Georgia's affairs. He was just giving speeches to the protesters. He wasn't meddling in Georgia's democracy. That's not meddling. When the EU does it, it's not meddling, right? That's not meddling. Can you imagine if Lavrov turned up in I don't know, turned up in DC during a protest that may have taken place in DC or something? Can you imagine if Lavrov turned up there and just started to talk to the crowds? There you go. You have the Lithuanian foreign minister in Georgia talking to the protesters. We are with you, he is telling them. The EU is with you. That was the message that he was delivering. Dear friends, brothers, and sisters, we are on your side, the side of European Georgia. You know, Mr. Foreign Minister, that's pretty non-inclusive of you. Brothers and sisters? There is no way for Georgia to join the European Union after the adoption of the law on foreign agents. The head of the Lithuanian foreign ministry. That's great for Georgia. That is great for Georgia. Problem solved. Not only do you get the foreign agents law, which will help you track the funding of NGOs, not only do you get that in place, you'll be able to root out all of the dark money that enters the country, right? Maybe tax the dark money that enters the country. You get that, but you also get an out for the European Union. That's a win-win if you ask me. That's a huge win-win for Georgia. There's your out. You don't have to pursue your path to the European Union. That's a huge win. You've just saved your country, you've saved your economy, you've saved your society, you've saved your culture, you saved your history. Huge win. That's what the Lithuanian foreign ministry said. So, you know, Georgia has anywhere between 10,000 registered NGOs, and some officials have said that it's much more, 20 to 25,000 NGOs. The MP for the ruling Georgia Dream Party said that 90% of the NGOs receive funding from abroad. There are 25,000 active NGOs in Georgia, 90% of which receive funding from foreign sources. 25,000 NGOs, according to this parliament member. But let's just go with the 10,000 number. Let's play it very conservative. And let's say that there are 10,000 NGOs in Georgia. Georgia is a population of around 3.7 million. Let's say 4 million. Let's say Georgia's population is 4 million. And let's do some Annalena Baerbock math. Let's see, 360 degrees, 4 million, 10,000 NGOs. Let's do some division. I'm doing some Annalena Baerbock math. 360 degree to the 360 power. Okay, so that would mean that for every citizen in Georgia, there are roughly, for every 400 citizens in Georgia, there's an NGO. For every 400 citizens, there's an NGO in Georgia. And that's if you go with the 10,000 number. If you go with the 20,000 number, well, if you do some Annalena Baerbock math, you just cut that 400 number in half, right? That's crazy, man. That is crazy. That's a crazy number of NGOs for such a small country. And you're telling me that Georgia doesn't have an NGO problem? No, Georgia has a freaking NGO problem. That's crystal clear. It's obvious. How can you have a country of 3.7 million people and have 10,000 or 20,000 NGOs operating? And you don't know where their money is coming from. I would say that that is a huge freaking problem. Yeah. But people are protesting, right? People are protesting. Oh, man. So let's do one more story, and we will wrap this video up. Oh, man. So Biden, he put out a 14-second video yesterday, and he is going to accept Trump's debate challenge. And it looks like we're going to have two debates, one in June and another one in September. That's right. Biden recorded a 14-second video with 5 jump cuts. 5 jump cuts in 14 seconds or 13 seconds. That is crazy. You're telling me, Biden, you couldn't memorize 14 seconds of dialogue? Bro. Oh my God. I wonder how long it took the White House to create that 14-second video. I bet you that 14-second video actually took them 4 hours to record. I'll put money on it. I will put money on it. Oh boy. Accept Trump's debate challenge, take 1. Accept Trump's debate challenge, take 20. Accept Trump's debate challenge, take 130. Action. Oh, man. Yeah, anyway, Biden is accepting the debate. From what I understand, the debate is going to be outside of the bipartisan debate committee or something like that, which is a clever way for Biden to not have RFK Jr. take part in the debate with Trump. Very sneaky, huh? Very, very sneaky. Anyway, you know what this means? This means that the Biden White House has something like 4 or 5 weeks to get Biden ready for the debate. So I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what they are going to do, but they've got about 5 weeks to do it. So, yeah, you may not be seeing much of Biden. He's going to probably get into one of those like aliens, like like pods that freeze you or something. That Ripley, Sigourney Weaver would be put into as they went into like a deep sleep. He's going to probably get into one of those for 5 weeks. Oh, man. So let's, how are we doing on time? Yeah, let's do a clown world and we'll wrap this video up. So when Blinken was in Kiev, you know who else was in Kiev? Alex Soros. That's right. He was also in Kiev. Informative meeting and briefings in Kiev about the situation on the battlefield, energy security, and European integration. Yeah, because if you're Ukraine, you have to share your battle plans with Alex Soros. Can't make this stuff up. Can't make this stuff up. And Blinken, while we're on the subject of Blinken, it was brought to my attention through the comments of my video yesterday where I talked about Blinken's rock and roll performance, and I said that the whole thing was absolutely staged. It was all pre-planned. The musicians in the comment sections, they agreed with me, and they said, you know what? Absolutely, this was planned because Blinken is playing with a lefty guitar, a left-handed guitar, and those are very rare. The chances are very, very slim to none, that if you went to a bar and you wanted to jam with the band, that they would have a left-handed guitar ready and waiting for you. The chances of that are very, very slim. So where did that guitar come from? I will put money that Blinken and his team, they actually brought that guitar. That's probably Blinken's guitar. And they actually brought that with him because the whole thing was already planned from when he was in DC. When he was in the US, I bet you they planned the whole thing. And they said, yeah, we'll bring your guitar, Anthony. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Some people said that the band should be called Blinken and the Banderites. Yeah. Anyway, that's the video, everybody. TheDuran.locals.com. We are on Rumble, ODYSEE, BitChute, Telegram, Rockfin, and Twitter X. And go to the Duran shop. Pick up some merch, 15% off. Use the code GetReady15. Take care.